Good morning. It is 60 Seconds to Serenity with me, Gregg Hammond, on Sunday, November 6th, 2017. The clocks went back an hour, so hopefully you did that and got some extra rest, if that's what they do in your time zone, if you set the clocks back an hour. It's always nice to fall back, although that changes things a bit. So for Sunday, I'm hopping on here and talking about the 60 Seconds to Serenity, always remembering that you have the ability to shift the way that you're feeling, and that is one of the most important strengths that you have, is to shift the way that you feel. And you can do that by stopping and taking just 60 seconds, 1 minute, to breathe in and breathe out and focus your thoughts. You use things like pictures, music, affirmations, things as you're controlling your breath and shifting yourself back to a place of very calm mind and serene mind. Think about the waves on the beach down in the Caribbean, where they just come in nice and gently across the sand, and then they come back, go back out to the ocean, and they roll back in. Those kind of waves are the way that you should focus the breath that you're pulling in through your nose and then breathing out through your mouth, with making that sound and making it slow, just like that, like those waves coming in. You might be able to hear that, you might not. But that's the idea of 60 Seconds to Serenity. And we've been talking about staying hydrated, 6 ounces of water, a small amount of water every 30 minutes or so is good. If you're drinking other things that will dehydrate you, such as caffeine or corn syrup or sugary drinks like that, juices, that will pull the water out, will use that water that's in your body. So you want to keep yourself hydrated. And you want to do that so that you never feel thirsty, because if you feel thirsty, you've already dehydrated yourself. Since it is a Sunday, I'm going to be quick here, because I'll do some of my reading and some of my writing before I head off to teach a ton of guitar students. Sunday is one of my busiest days. I have a lot of students that come in for the guitar lessons, and so my Sunday will be short here, but the whole idea is just, it's a minute. I hop on here and share some important things with you. Hopefully you were able to see the first video for getting started on the guitar that shares information about the very, very basics, and let you know that I'm going to be doing that every Saturday at 9 a.m. East Coast time. So today I want to again remind anyone who's interested in having a Global Jam sticker. I would love for you to have one of these and place it somewhere that you can share the story. If you're not sure about what it is, then check out our website, check out our Facebook page, or Instagram. We have social media. And good morning, Carol. I see Carol is on here, and she has been absolutely outstanding and amazing as a volunteer. She's the co-founder of the Global Jam for Peace, and she is very, very diligent in staying on top of keeping our social media current and interesting with art and music, two things that really, really help keep you in a creative mindset. And music is very healing. It's universal language. If you would like a sticker, if you will pay the postage, I will send you one of these for free. I also have the magnets for your refrigerator, and I could put both of those into an envelope. I think it's a couple dollars, and it would be nice if you would send that. If you wanted to donate for the ability for me to send them to other people, you could go right online to the Global Jam for Peace, and there's a donate button there. So I want to challenge you to, if you haven't started your gratitude list of 10 things, make a list, get a little pad of paper. This one is set up for my gratitude specifically, and think of people and places that you're grateful for. For me, Bob Proctor is somebody that I'm extremely grateful for. All my volunteers for Global Jam, I'm very thankful for them. Thankful for my sister, Jennifer, who has been helping me with a lot of my my social media and my projects, the Global Jam, and things like that. So think about just people. That's my suggestion. There are tons of things, and I'll always mention new things to trigger your mind to be able to think. You want to stay in a state of gratitude. You pair that with your breathing, using, I mentioned pictures and other videos. I do this every morning, so you can go back and check those. There's very helpful information there. Set a goal. Start thinking about it for the 2018, but finish off the quarter of 2017. You still got, we've got a number of weeks left that you can work on setting a goal and taking some steps, some very small steps. And I posted something this morning, a quote that talks about that a lot of times you just feel like you're not ready, but it doesn't matter. You should take some small steps, and you'll get through those small steps, and they'll become big steps, and you'll get there. If you wait till you're ready, you'll never get it done. All the time will still pass, and you'll still be at that point where you feel like you're not ready. That's just a feeling that happens on a conscious level and also a subconscious level, and you want to be able to break that by just taking small steps. So that means, like today, if you can't think of 10 things to be grateful for, at least write down one. And the next thing that I want to suggest is that you get yourself a pad of paper somewhere that you can write it down. I happen to like pages that have the lines on them, like something like this. And I have a ton of stuff from Proctor Gallagher. I love Proctor Gallagher Institute. I post links to their stuff all the time. I have studied and invested in myself, invested a lot of time, study, and money to get myself to newer and better places with the way that I live my life. And if you know anything about the first 3 decades of my life, where I won't talk about them too much here, but it was very challenging. I didn't know how to get out of my own way. I kept thinking myself into really difficult circumstances, and I thought it was all the circumstances. I thought it was everything around me that was making that, and that I was a victim of all of these things, and the things that I chose to do to myself out of bad habits. And once I understood the way that the brain works, and the way that your mind works, and the way that thinking and doing all these exercises work, I thought, well, everybody should know this. Part of the reason I do this in the morning is to help people shift over, because my life is amazing, and I'm extremely grateful for that. So I'm sharing and giving back by sharing all of these things that have helped me. In 1999, I was taking a class in the mountains of Santa Cruz. I was doing a wilderness survival class, learning how to become very efficient at moving quickly in the wilderness, and using methods of thought and methods of visually looking at the ground, tracking to find lost children and to find lost hunters, campers, people that just get out there and get lost, and find them before they perish. And so I was training for that. And as I was taking notes, we were taking a lot of notes and having to draw things. And as I was doing that, I realized my hand was getting tired. I hadn't taken notes for a long time. If you know, you might know that I received a diploma, which is proof that they'll give you a diploma. I actually made it through about 6th grade. 5th grade I had A's, and then after that, it just declined. And circumstances, I started doing poorly in school, and then I just quit. I just gave up. It was a choice, and I didn't have a ton of encouragement. Nobody was really noticing that I was hiding it pretty well, pretending that I was going to school and doing well. You can do that. So I hadn't been writing in a long time. And in this class in 1999, as I was taking my notes, I decided to write with my left hand, and it was challenging and it was slow, and I kept switching back to my right, but it made me start thinking about, oh, how about if I try doing that? I've heard of people who can do that, and if other people can do it, the truth is that you can also do it. It may take you a lot of steps to get there, but you can do it. So anything that your mind can conceive and then believe, it can achieve. And so keep that in mind, right? So I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna write my name. I'm gonna print it out. Excuse me. I'm gonna print it out with my right hand, my dominant hand. One of the things about what we were talking about in our tracking is that people who get lost generally do a circle, a great big circle. You can imagine it behind me. You can see Global Jam for Peace circle. Actually, it's on this side. The camera is reversed for me, so there we go. You can see a whole circle there. So if you were thinking that somebody somebody gets lost here, they're going to go around in a circle. It's going to be a big circle, but they're going to go around in that circle. I can't do a circle backwards, by the way. I don't think I can. The camera is reversed because I want you to be able to read everything, so I had to do that. Maybe I am going to be able to do it all the way. No. Yes. 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 And wow. So I try that. Try reversing your camera and then doing something behind you like that, so that people who get lost go in a circle because they move in the direction of their dominant, whatever dominant hand, their dominant side. If they're right-handed, they'll go in a circle in the direction of the right. It's just a choice that they unconsciously make because that's their dominant side, and their dominant side is a stronger side, and their non-dominant side, that leg will swing out further and make a little bit, a very small fraction, but a bit of a step longer because the dominant side is supporting the body. And so you never feel that when you're walking, but it's a small amount. And they all go around in a circle. And so you can cut track, and find somebody. A lot of the times a good tracker can do that, can figure that out. So I wrote my name with my dominant hand, the right hand, and now I'm about to use my non-dominant hand to write it underneath. I'm going to write my name. The name is something that you write all the time, right? So it's a quick and easy thing. Now I've done these exercises with Bob Proctor, Sandy Gallagher have had us doing them at workshops. So it was nice to step back into this because I'd forgotten about it for a while, and I definitely want to get better. So here's the second one, right? That's non-dominant. Now, when I started off on this 15, 16 months ago, it wasn't like that. I was almost back to the beginning because I hadn't used my non-dominant hand to write in a long time. And so the writing, as I tried to go fast, was actually, I'll show you an example. And it's interesting because I can write so well, it's going to be, I have to exaggerate this. But this is how it was. It was so big, and it was much sloppier than that. So my challenge to you is just for, they say 21 days to create a new habit. And this exercise is to help you feel what it feels like to create a new habit. Now maybe you want to create a new habit that is really breaking a habit. Maybe you have a habit of something that you're like, it's about time that I remove this from my life, or you've tried for a long time. This is a great way to start on that because it's simple enough that you can have your pen and paper, 5 minutes to do your 60 seconds to Serenity to practice the breathing and practice what that's like. See, that's changing the light, sorry. So you practice your breathing, your 60 seconds to Serenity, and then your non-dominant handwriting. So write it with your dominant hand and then non-dominant hand underneath there. And you see I've done it one time. I suggest you do it several times, at least 5 to 10 times. If you feel when you first do it that like 10 times is a lot, it's okay. You just take a note of that. Put the date on that you've done that exercise. And then just see if you can increase it. Maybe the first time you just do it once. The next day you do it once again. And the next day you're ready to push to 2. And then by day 4, maybe you've added a third time. And maybe you've added some extra time in there, an extra couple of minutes. And then you've got it up to writing it out 10 times. But you want to stay consistent. You want to commit to doing that every single day. And just allow that very uncomfortable feeling to happen. Just do that as a small commitment to yourself. It's pretty amazing what happens mentally and then physically and then on a spiritual level. What happens for you as you do these exercises. The breathing and the focus on positive affirmations. If you haven't seen the previous videos that I've been doing in the morning like this, the 60 Seconds to Serenity, you can go back through and check them out. And you're doing your breathing, you're thinking about things that are very positive, you're using a gratitude list where you've written out things that you're grateful for in a list of 10, filling up a page like that, and then being able to reflect back so that you're connecting. Here's the really important part of that, right? What I'm having you do is build an exercise of 60 Seconds to Serenity that is your trigger. It is linked to your breath and you controlling your breath because it's something that you're doing all the time. So it's not like you're going to not be able to do it, right? So as you're controlling your breath and breathing and you're linking together all these positive affirmations, power statements, everywhere I go and everything I do, I make the world a better place for me and for you. That's one of the ones that I say to myself, and I realized when I shared it with somebody, they said, wow, can I use it? My sister did she was down in North Carolina doing a talk. She was one of the keynote speakers, and we were talking about, preparing and what kind of things were very powerful to share. And I mentioned that, and she said, I'm definitely going to share that with everybody. And so I'm sharing that with you and telling you that's a great one to put in there. But you can make up your own and take a little bit of time to explore what kind of positive affirmations you'd like. And I'll share more as I do these. So the idea is I'm helping you build this specific exercise of 60 Seconds to Serenity where you're increasing the control of the calmness of mind and your ability to think very positive thoughts. And we're tying that in with your breath because you're breathing all the time. And as soon as you start to have something that's, either an experience, phone call, email, maybe you saw the news, and I recommend you stay away from the news because that will set up, that can easily trigger some anger or different feelings that you don't want. And so you want to tie together the ability, if you've experienced something like that, or maybe bumped into somebody who wasn't having a great day and they were rude, that you're able to shift and that use this tool, this exercise of breathing like the waves on a nice, calm, sandy beach, and tying that in with positive affirmations and thoughts of things you love, people that you absolutely adore, memories that were absolutely amazing, and just use those little snapshots. Well, you can do it with a little bit of music or a line out of a song and your positive affirmation. You tie all these together with that breathing so that in 60 seconds you're able to shift your mindset and be at a place of calm where you can respond to things as opposed to reacting to things. That's when you have control over a situation is when you're responding. And you can respond with this very powerful exercise of your breath and very positive things. And because it's tied to the breath, it's happening all the time, it will start to happen. If you do this enough times and you practice this, that's why I'm hopping on every single day. I get on and do a video to remind you about this, because if you start to make this a habit, just a 1 minute habit, you spend a few minutes of your day practicing, preparing for this, you will become very strong and very efficient at staying in control and staying in a calm mind and shifting your day so that that your own place of mental calmness will come out from you and change other people's days and make their day beautiful. Anyway, I gotta hop off of here. I have to do my reading, my study this morning. I took a little extra time with the time change here on the East Coast to enjoy a little extra rest, and so I hope that you are having a great start to your Sunday. If you're looking at this later on, you see this later on, I hope that your day has been good, and I hope that you can share this with anybody that you'd like to share this with. It's extremely valuable. I wish I had this information when I was much younger, because seeing how well it works made me realize that I was in my own way all the way through my entire life, and so part of the passion that I have is to be able to share this, and that's why I'm getting up and doing these videos in the morning. And I will be launching for all of 2018 two different 24-week programs where I will take people from the very beginning and go through to where you can achieve giant goals by learning how to do all the things to get out of your way. It's a very organized program, and I will be a consultant teaching that. I will start earlier than 2018. I will begin before the end of the year, but I just have to set a few things up so that it's easy for everybody to join in and do that. It'll be a series of videos in a workbook, and conference calls with me and team members. So I hope that I'm hopping off. I hope that you have a fantastic Sunday, and remember, listen to your music, play your instruments, peace, love, music.